The mastermind of a major North Yorkshire drugs gang who hid his undercover activities behind a legitimate company has been jailed for nearly 10 years. Alan John Barker, 56, had two illegal guns, one of which was a sawn-off shotgun, at his home and ran a slick commercial cannabis production regime, Judge Robin Mairs told Leeds Crown Court. Police located 5 of his cannabis farms at different houses, and he may have had more, the court heard. This was a cannabis empire that was clearly growing. This was a professional criminality by professional criminals, the judge said. Barker's brother Gary, 53, and his trusted lieutenants Steve Annis, 40, and John Christopher Dalton, 34, were also locked up. Together the 4 were jailed for 27 years. All 4 were leading a criminal lifestyle, the judge said. The 2 guns found at Alan Barker's home were there, at least in part, to protect the cannabis operation, and were in working order, the judge said. Robert Stevenson, prosecuting, said Alan Barker used his business, Selby Hydroponics, as the central hub for the cannabis operation, bringing cannabis to it from 5 or more cannabis farms for onward supply. He also used it to buy quality hydroponic and cannabis grown equipment at low prices for the 5 houses police discovered where he had cannabis grown for him and to conceal his criminality. He continued to run his drug enterprise after he was arrested and the guns found. The gang had anti-surveillance equipment which Annis used to check cars for listening bugs. When the police closed down the 5 cannabis farms, 160 cannabis plants and thousands of pounds of cannabis were buried on the grounds of Alan Barker's business premises to try and conceal them from the police. Altogether, the court heard officers recovered 420 cannabis plants and 72,000 worth of cannabis from the 6 locations. The cannabis operation was underway by January 2017 and ran until December 2018. The judge said Alan Barker had misplaced pride in his hydroponic skills and attended hydroponics conferences. Barristers for all the main defendants suggested the cannabis production was not on an industrial scale but a low commercial scale. Alan Barker of Long Drax, near Selby, was jailed for 9 years and 9 months. The prosecution is applying for him to be subject to a serious crime prevention order when he is released. He has previously served 14-year sentence for smuggling 20 million of cocaine into the country. Alan Barker was also convicted of 2 charges of supplying cannabis and 2 charges of possessing guns when prohibited from doing so. Having denied the charges, he pleaded guilty to failure to disclose his phone's PIN to police, a charge that Gary Barker denied and was convicted of at trial. For Alan Barker, Sean Smith said he had not offended since. He was generous with his time and money to others. There was no ammunition for the shotguns at his home. Gary Barker of Liver Sedge, near Cleckheaton, was jailed for 6 years and 3 months. Leeds Crown Court heard he had an encroach phone and had previously been jailed for drug offences. Kieran Galvin, for him, said he was a manager, not a director, of the cannabis business. He was contrite and regretted his involvement. Annis of Westfield Terrace, Halifax, and Dalton of Hillside Byram, near Selby, were both jailed for 5.5 years. All 4 had denied conspiracy to produce cannabis and conspiracy to supply cannabis, but were convicted at a trial. Nicholas Cartmel, for Annis, said he was a good man who was effectively an errand boy, taking chemicals to the cannabis farms. He was sorry for his involvement. For Dalton, Hugh Mackey said he regretted being involved. He was a hard-working, kind and considerate man. Mark Fairness, 60 of Leeds Road, Eckmond Wyke, near Dewsbury, who denied allowing the use of his premises for cannabis growing, was convicted at a trial, was given a 12-month prison sentence, suspended for 24 months, on condition he does 150 hours unpaid work. Richard Cannon, for Fairness, said he was misguided and naive. Mr. Stevenson said Annis, Dalton, and Fairness had all expected to make big money out of the cannabis operation. 3 people who admitted allowing the use of their premises by the gang to produce cannabis were given 15-week prison sentence, suspended for 12 months. Ben Marshall, 52, of Scammondon, near Huddersfield, was also ordered to do 75 hours unpaid work. John Healy, 44, and Diane Mitchell, 64, who lived together at Owler Lane, Bristol, near Batley, were each also ordered to pay a £500 fine. All 3 pleaded guilty on the basis Alan Barker forced them to turn their premises into cannabis farms by threats and other forms of pressure. Alan Barker denied their allegations. Kate Barker, 40, Alan Barker's former wife, of Main Road, Drax, admitted possession of the 2 guns on the basis she knew of their existence, but nothing more. She was given a 6-month community order with 60 hours unpaid work. The judge commended Detective Sergeant Tom Hoban of the North Yorkshire Police, Organised Crime Unit, and forensic analyst Samantha Baxter for their detailed work that brought the gang to justice. Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my crime channel. Thank you.